The morning traffic outside Falcon Ridge Military Base was already tense. Engines idled, horns blared, and a long line of vehicles crawled toward the security checkpoint. Soldiers in uniform moved with practiced efficiency, checking IDs and keeping order. In the middle of it all sat a plain gray pickup truck. Inside was a man who looked unremarkable. Late 40s, short hair just beginning to gray, wearing a simple brown jacket. No rank visible, no uniform. His hands rested lightly on the steering wheel. He didn't check his phone. He didn't tap the dashboard. He simply waited. The driver behind him did not share that patience. "Come on. Move it," the man shouted, leaning out his window. "Some of us have jobs to get to." The quiet driver glanced in his rearview mirror, met the man's angry eyes for a moment, then looked forward again without a word. This only made things worse. Another car joined in, a woman pounding her steering wheel. Why is this guy holding everyone up? It's always someone who thinks they're special. A soldier at the checkpoint raised a hand, signaling a brief pause as he spoke into his radio. The line stopped completely. Groans erupted. The angry driver behind the truck slammed his horn. "Hey, you asleep in there?" he yelled. "If you can't drive, get off the road." A few soldiers nearby glanced over, but said nothing. The quiet driver remained still. What no one in that line knew was that the delay had nothing to do with him. Inside the guard booth, an alert had just come through an unscheduled security drill ordered from the highest level. For 30 seconds, all inbound traffic was frozen. But the people in their cars didn't know that. All they saw was a silent man at the front who wasn't reacting. "Unbelievable," the angry driver muttered. "Bet he's a civilian contractor who thinks the rules don't apply." Another voice chimed in from a few cars back. "Yeah, probably lost. Or too important to care," the quiet driver exhaled slowly. He'd been screamed at before by recruits, politicians, even foreign officials. Noise didn't bother him. Ego didn't interest him. Control, discipline, and responsibility did. The soldier at the checkpoint finally stepped out of the booth. He stopped dead. His boots clicked together. His spine straightened. His hand snapped up in a sharp salute. "Good morning, sir." The entire line went silent. The quiet driver rolled down his window. "At ease, Sergeant," he said calmly. "Yes, sir," the soldier replied, his voice firm. The angry driver behind the truck blinked. "Sir?" Another soldier rushed over, eyes wide. He too snapped to attention. "Sir, we weren't informed you'd be arriving this morning." "That's intentional," the quiet driver replied. "Carry on." The guards exchanged a look. Radios crackled. Within seconds, officers began moving with urgency, not panic, but precision. The angry driver leaned forward, confusion draining the color from his face. "What's going on?" he whispered. A soldier turned slightly and said, just loud enough to be heard, "That's Colonel Daniel Mercer, base commanding officer." The words hit like a shockwave. The woman who had been pounding her steering wheel froze. The man who had been screaming moments earlier slowly sank back into his seat. Colonel Mercer stepped out of the truck. Up close, there was nothing flashy about him. No decorations on display, no dramatic presence. But there was a weight to the way he stood, the way the soldiers unconsciously adjusted their posture around him. He walked to the checkpoint, spoke quietly with the sergeant, then glanced down the line of vehicles. His eyes met the angry driver's. The man braced himself, expecting punishment, humiliation, shouting. Instead, Colonel Mercer simply nodded once. "Patience," he said evenly, "is also part of discipline." That was it. No threats, no power trips, no power trip. The colonel returned to his truck. The checkpoint opened. Traffic resumed. As the vehicles moved forward, the angry driver finally reached the booth. His hands were shaking as he handed over his ID. I'm sorry," he blurted out. The soldier checked his ID, then looked up. "Learned something today?" The man nodded. So did several others. Later that afternoon, inside the base headquarters, Colonel Mercer stood before a room of officers. The unscheduled drill had gone exactly as intended. Before dismissing them, he said only one thing. Rank doesn't announce itself in traffic. Authority doesn't need to shout. And leadership is how you behave when no one knows who you are. Outside, the gray pickup sat parked among dozens of others, indistinguishable, ordinary, just like the man who drove it. Until the moment it mattered. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to like and subscribe for more.